21 day of a fast has come to an end. Now, the most important question that many people have been asking, and not only many people have been asking, but I think you should be prepared for, and that is, how do you end a prolonged fast? How do you come out in a way that you don't hurt yourself? Now, big disclaimer first and foremost. I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. And therefore, some of the things that I want to share with you are just part of some common sense wisdom. When it comes to specifically things that relate to your situation, I would really encourage you that you research, and as well as you consult your doctor. But for right now, I want to share with you just 10 very basic things that I would like to leave you with as we're exiting or preparing to leave the fast. Okay, number one is you have to keep in mind that the stomach has been slowly shrinking. That means that your stomach's capacity for food is not like it was in the beginning, which means the smallest amounts of food not only can make you feel full, but they can also irritate your stomach. So you have to understand that your stomach now is not the same size that it was when you started the fast. It shrunk. Okay, so you don't want to overwhelm your stomach by beginning to eat, of course, normal meals. The second thing that I want you to remember about this as you're planning to come out of the fast is the organs in the body that are usually involved with assimilating the food have taken a rest. You could think of it as this, is that these organs, especially the digestive system, has gone into a sleep, and that has become deeper asleep as you went further into a fast. So not only your stomach has shrunk, but also these organs have went to sleep, a lot of them. A lot of processes, things that process the food, really dialed down in your stomach. And so the body now needs time to produce enzymes that are capable of breaking down food and ramp up bile production and have enough acid to break those foods down. So if you're going to just go right away into eating, okay, not only your stomach is not as the size because it really started to shrink. I mean, you probably see it even in your belly, but also all these things in your stomach, digestive system that have used to process food, okay, a lot of them dialed down. Okay, so they need to be slowly wakened up. They need to be slowly wakened up, not instantly. They cannot wake up instantly. That's why there's going to be a lot of problems with that. The third thing I want you to keep in mind, eating too much food right away will result in bloating, nausea, stomach pain, diarrhea, and could result in irreversible damage to your digestive system. If you go into overloading your digestive system by eating a lot of food or eating normal food, what's going to happen is that not only you can overwhelm your digestive system, there has been cases of people who have went on a 40-day, usually it's the 40-day fast, who have went and right after the fast to a junk food place or like ate a burger from like McDonald's or something, and they not only end up in the emergency, but they actually died. So these are not made up stories. These are real stories of people who died. And some of them were pastors, or I heard a person who went and ate a chicken afterwards and they died. So this is not to be played around. This is not something very light. It's as important as serious and demands your full self-control and discipline and patience as fasting. Okay? It's easy right now to be thinking about food, and it's easy right now to be thinking about, all the food I miss, I'm going to go and catch up. And that will land you in some really bad waters. Now, number 4, physical hunger right now is not as high as mental hunger. What is higher is not your physical hunger. About this time right now, you probably don't feel physically hungry, but you're mentally, psychologically, you are hungry, meaning you're missing the food. The cravings probably are still there. It's important to not eat because you missed eating, but to eat because you're hungry. And in this case, by now, you are not probably very hungry at all. And so what you could be eating with is with your brain instead of with your stomach. And so your brain will want more than your stomach will allow for. And it's very important to understand that you're actually, for most of us who are fasting, and you're watching this on a 21 day of fasting, you're probably not as hungry as you think you are. Because a lot of these appetites have died down, stomach has kind of shrunk, you are not craving the food physically, but mentally you begin to think all the foods you missed. And so the temptation will be to let your stomach run at the pace of your brain. And there will be damage if you do that, because your stomach is not as hungry as your brain is. And so your brain wants to think that you're hungry. You're not that hungry. So just relax and slow down. Okay? Number 5, now we're going to get to something more practical. The longer your fast was, the longer it takes to come out of it. I am dealing right now with people who did the fast without food. Now, if you are fasting with food, the next things will not necessarily apply to you, because you can gradually come out of that. If you were eating one meal, you can add one more meal to your diet and you will be okay. But people who have completely stopped eating for 21 days, please listen very carefully. This applies to you and it applies to me. The longer your fast was, the longer it should take to come out of it. It's recommended that if you're 21 days without food, that it should take you at least 3 days to come out of it. If you were 40 days on without food, it should take you 7 days to come out of it. Now, there are people who fast a lot and they recommend taking even longer, like 7 or 2 weeks if you fasted for 21 days. Personally, I've never taken 2 weeks. Don't ever take my example for that, but just personally speaking. But it is recommended to take at least 3 to 4 days so that all the enzymes and then acids and all of the stuff starts functioning, starts waking up. It's kind of like this. Imagine that you come to the house and your air conditioner or your heater has been off. All the lights are off. The fireplace is off. And then you're turning everything on. You can't expect the house to be warm right away. You turn on the heater, it starts warming things up. Then you turn on the lights. Then you turn on this, then you turn on that. Things start to kind of warm up. And that's exactly what's happening to your stomach. Everything has been off. If you've been drinking water or tea or some other things, then your stomach is still pretty asleep. A lot of these processing things in your stomach are asleep. And so you want to be slowly turning them on. And then they will start warming things up. Things start warming up. And then after about 3 days, you can start introducing some heavier foods. Now, number 6, and this is the basic rule for coming out of a prolonged fast. A very simple and basic rule. And it's not that we don't know that. It's that it's hard to do it. All right? You should never break the fast, a prolonged fast, by eating a normal meal. Very simple, very basic, very hard to do. You should never come out of a prolonged fast with a normal meal. Bread, sugar, dairy, processed foods, eggs, nuts, meats. These are not easy to digest. It takes your stomach more acid and enzymes to break those foods. and the stomach is not awake yet, it's sleeping. So throwing all of that in will not only overwhelm your digestive system, but what it will create is it could damage your digestive system. And you don't want to do that. So number 7, you want to wake up your digestive system with something like bone broth or water cooked from rice. So if you can coat your colon, by drinking water that you cooked rice with, and or bone broth. And so that helps to kind of slowly begin to wake that up. And the next few hours, you want to do some maybe steamed vegetables or bone broth again, or cooked tomato, again in smaller portions. And then maybe, 4 hours later, do something like that. And you want to kind of do that for a few days. So my 8th practical advice is that for the next few hours after you drink bone broth, 3-4 hours later, you want to just eat a little bit of cooked tomato, maybe steamed vegetables, or bone broth again. You can add tofu to broths, which help to add substance, but it's less than tomato and rice. Now, you don't want to eat all of that together. Okay, so this is not like bone broth, steamed vegetables, and you cook a tomato and all of this stuff together. It's just you want to space that out, every few hours, every 3-4 hours or something. So you want to kind of slowly start introducing, again, very soft foods, and preferably cooked, vegetables to your digestive system. Give it enough time to produce those enzymes. You want to give it enough time to produce those acids. You want to give it enough time to start breaking them down, waking stuff. The stomach begins to wake up. And so you don't want to drink soda. You don't want to eat sweets. You don't want to eat meats. And you don't want to eat anything that's dairy, like yogurt or milk or processed foods or eggs or nuts or meats or salmon or anything of that stuff. So you want to kind of avoid that for at least 3 to 4 for 3 days. Kind of give your stomach a break, let it slowly begin to wake up. That's why, as much as of a celebration it is that the fast is coming to an end, unfortunately you really have to still add about 3 more days for you to begin to come out rightly. Now, you can come out right away and do what you want and go stuff yourself, but the Lord will not be responsible for you sitting on a toilet and cry for His mercy, because He will say, I told you so, Vlad told you, and you did not listen. So, number 9, you want to avoid sugars and carbs, because it will make you hungry. So let's say that on a day 2, you already you feel like, hey, I feel really good. I am already, I could start adding, a little bit of bread and other stuff. Or even on the day 3, the moment you start adding carbs and the moment you start adding sugar, sugar right away makes you more hungry, and, carbs as well. And so that therefore you want to avoid that. Honestly, want to postpone that as far as you can. For some of you, some of us, this will be a big breakthrough. Actually, freedom from sugar this year. Freedom, not that you don't have any sugar, because a lot of foods have sugar, but not adding extra stuff. And honestly, this is probably me too, because I need to have more freedom from sugar in my life. So I claim that for myself. And then number 10 is that after a few days, you can start adding more solid foods like boiled eggs and etc. So let's repeat this. Number 1, your stomach has been shrinking, so you must understand that you cannot overwhelm it by adding normal food and introducing it. Number 2 is that organs in your body that usually are involved with breaking down foods, like enzymes and bile and acids, they need to give them time to start kind of warming up and start working again. A lot of them have really dialed down. Number 3 is that eating too much food or overwhelming your digestive system will result in pain and could result in you actually hurting yourself and even potentially dying. The fourth one we mentioned is that you have to understand you probably are not as hungry as your brain says you're hungry. So don't let your stomach take cues right now from your brain. And so just make those decisions for your stomach by not saying, oh, I missed all this food, so let me go right now, try this and try that, try that. And so you want to not allow your mental, emotional dictate your physical decision. Number 5 is the longer you fast, the longer it takes to come out of it. So for 21 days, it takes at least 3 days. 40 days, it takes at least 7 days. Number 6, you should never break the fast with a normal meal. Number 7 is you can wake up your digestive system slowly with the bone broth or water cooked from rice. Number 8, for next few days, every 3-4 hours, you want to eat small portions of cooked tomatoes, steamed vegetables, or bone broth. And number 9, you want to avoid sugar and carbs, at least probably for these 3 to 5 or maybe even 7 days. And so you want to kind of give your system a break from that, as well as for some of us, it would be a good thing to actually permanently create restrictions for sugar and carbs. And number 10, after a few days, 3 days, for some people it's 4 days, for some people it'll be 5 days, some people it's going to be 2 days, depending on you, your body and your digestive system. You can start adding slowly solid foods like boiled eggs and other steamed vegetables. So these are just few of practical recommendations concerning how to come out of a fast. I also see my wife is answering some questions in the chat. Thank you, Lana, for doing that. And finally, I want to leave you with 5 decisions I want you to consider making this year. 5 healthy habits. I'm going to call healthy habits are holy habits. And so 5 of them that I want to leave you with. Number 1 habit that I want you to think about making this year is this. Make a decision to fast 3 days monthly during this year. So make a decision to fast this year 3 days monthly. So there are spiritual benefits of fasting. So we discussed that. But I just want to mention something about as small as 3 days of fasting. What it does is that you have in your body this thing called autophagy. Autophagy is when your body has the ability to eat itself. Now, at first, it sounds scary. But autophagy is when the body uses itself as a fuel to clean up all the junk. What happens when you begin to go into a 3-day fast is your body, instead of consuming the food that you give it, begins to go and starts doing deep cleaning with cellular garbage, bacteria, viruses, food particles, damaged proteins, and even developing cancer cells. It begins to eat them up. It begins to destroy them. And each cell in your body has a healing power, and autophagy activates those cells to start healing themselves, your body. When God created our body, you have to understand, in the earlier days, people didn't eat 3 meals a day. They had to go prepare food, kill something, prepare it, and sometimes people went hungry for some time, a week, maybe a few days. And this starvation that they would experience, during this starvation, God implemented a system that while you are going without food, your body experiences autophagy. So it starts going and repairing itself and getting rid of all its toxins. So I want to encourage you, not only for spiritual reasons, but also for health reasons, that you make a decision, if you are able, this year to fast 3 days a month. Not as a rule, but as a principle. Not only you can put God first through that, 3 days is pretty manageable for most of us. So we will practice that on March. And so we will announce that a little bit earlier. We will let you know that in the group on Facebook. We will let you know to those people who have signed up on pastorvlad.org /challenge. And this will really be a great blessing to your spiritual life, to your physical life, and I believe also to rekindle certain things in your walk with Christ. That's the first decision I want you to make right now. The second decision is this. I want you to consider, for those of you who came out of a fast or coming out of a fast, and I want you to consider practicing intermittent fasting. I know I mentioned to some of you that to live a fasted life, one of the ways to live a fasted life is to practice intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting, I am again not a dietitian nor am I a doctor. But I've seen personally in my life where this started to happen when I started to cut out breakfast from my diet. Few reasons. One of them is during my breakfast time, that's when I usually spend my time with the Lord. Secondly, I started to recognize the job I have. Now, this might not apply to every person's case. The job that I have doesn't require a lot of physical activity. Eating 3 times a week, 3 times a day is way too much. And so when I cut off breakfast and I would have my first meal at 12 and just have a little coffee in the morning and eat 2 meals a day instead of 3, not only it helped me to fast more every day, but it also helped me to focus more during those morning times. Instead of trying to find food, I spend more time in God's Word. And so there are people in the chat and you are watching or rewatching this, and that's something you should consider as both spiritual practice and as a health practice. It will help you to draw maybe more nearer to the Lord. You'll have more time to spend with Him, and it will help you also not to overstuff yourself and your body with fuel when you're not actually using most of it. Number 3, that's something that I would like to encourage you as well, and that is to eliminate junk food, soda, alcohol, and limit sugar. For those of you who have a practice of drinking alcohol, I want to challenge you this year to eliminate alcohol from your diet. Your body organs will thank you later for that. And if your view on Christians and drinking alcohol is, kind of like it's okay to drink for the sake of your health, but also for the sake of you walking closer with the Holy Spirit, you should put alcohol on the back burner. I'm not saying you're going to go to hell if you have a bottle of wine in your house or you drink wine, but I do believe that there are better health benefits and also focuses more us on being self-controlled when you don't consume alcohol. With alcohol, another bad thing, and that is soda and junk food. A person came to me a week ago and said, I want God to break me free from gluttony. And I said, okay. He said, could you pray for me? I said, I will be more than happy. I just ask you a few questions. How often do you eat in fast food restaurants? He said, every day. I said, how often do you drink, soda, a Coke or Pepsi or all of that? He's like, every day. I said, are you willing to give that up? He says, oh, I'm not sure. And I said, I don't think I can pray for you. I said, how can I pray for you if you're going to go back and do that? And so I don't believe that you can break free from certain, bad habits if you constantly feed your temple with junk. The Bible says if we defile God's temple, if we destroy God's temple, God is not pleased. And so if you intentionally put into your body, like a large Coke, Big Macs and, French fries and all of this stuff. And I understand they're cheap and they're convenient. But this year, God doesn't want you to be cheap and convenient. He wants you to be holy. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to be healthy. And He wants you to be honoring Him. And He wants you to take care of your body. And so make the decision. Restrict your sugar. Limit your junk food. Or remove them completely. Or eliminate completely the alcohol from your diet so that you can focus more on Christ. And so you can honor Him with your body. For some of you who think, why is he talking about our physical health? I'm here to just learn about fasting. Please understand, if we fast, but we don't live right, after the fasting in the area of our health, it's not honoring to the Lord. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Jesus heals our body. He created our body. He will judge us based on what we do in our body. He will resurrect our body. And the Lord, His Spirit, lives in there. So therefore, you must consider this year to be a year where you honor the Lord by taking care of your body better than you did last year. And why am I speaking about this at the end of the fast? Because this is the best time to make the decision. Fasting will not help you to lose weight, but it could trigger healthy habits that could result in you feeling better this year, walking closer with the Lord, experiencing more freedom, and experiencing the fruit of self-control. Because all of that really deals with self-control. You know, what we eat is who we become. A lot of us, we eat ourselves into sickness. Sicknesses we could have avoided. Energy we could have had. Strength we could have had. Mental clarity we could have had. If we could only change what we put into our body. And it grieves the Holy Spirit. It does not honor the Lord when we don't take care of our body. And this is a good moment to do that when you are coming out of the fast, to right away mentally say, you know what? I want to change how I live. I want to change how I eat. I want to change how much I eat. I want to change what I drink. I want to change what I don't drink. So I want to make those decisions. May this be an encouragement and that confirmation you were looking for. That you fast every month. That you practice intermittent fasting at least 5 times during the week. And that you cut off alcohol, junk food, soda, and restrict or limit sugar. Number 4, make your devotional life your breakfast. Number 4, make your devotional life your breakfast. May your breakfast be your time with Jesus. May your devotional life, whether you're going to eat breakfast or not, but may your devotional life be the number 1 priority this year. May this be a habit, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever that is, but consistent, Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, where you prioritize your time with God. And number 5, something we already alluded to, and that is fill your free time with listening. No, number 4, there's 2 number 4s, I apologize. Number 5 is commit to memorizing the scriptures. And as I have shown you already, and I'm going to give you just one more thing, you can download this app, join our group, and you can get 2 verses every single week, as this year will be a year where you commit to memorizing the scriptures. And number 6, I apologize, I mixed those things up. Fill your free time with listening to the Bible. In a drive, cleaning, doing some other things, take some time to listen to the Holy Scriptures. So that is about all that I wanted to share with you today on how to come out of the fast, and as well as on what to do this year. I've seen that my wife has also been answering a lot of questions in the chat. Thank you, Lana, for helping with this. And that's all that I wanted to share with you guys today. Amen. Amen. So we want to just take a few moments and maybe if there's any questions. If you have a testimony from this fast, don't forget to let us know. Go to hungrygen.com/testimony. Also, if you want to give, if you want to bless the Lord and honor Him by contribute to this ministry, you can do that by going to pastorvlad.org/partner. It will be much appreciated. I am proud of you guys. I honor you for sticking with me. I honor you for being with us for these last 21 days. I know that this has not been easy for the fasting, and unfortunately, the sad news is to end the fast is way harder than to fast. Isn't that the truth? To end the fast is way harder than to fast. So just making sure that you guys end the fast well. Okay, end the fast well. Yeah, I think that's why I always have a hard time with Daniel fasting, because I just cannot have the discipline of like eating just particular foods. And so for me, I know personally this is going to be the hardest thing, not necessarily the fasting, because fasting is easy, you just don't eat. This is very difficult because right now you have to control the amounts of things that you eat, and you got to restrict yourself, practice self-control, control those glutton desires, and just kind of hold the horses, So that's what I would recommend everyone. Then that's on that end. So my screen is not working, the other screen is not working, so I'm gonna try to see if I can pull up some things for questions. Do we do sacrificial giving for the day 3 as well? No, we will not do a sacrificial giving for 3-day fast. We will try to do that once a year. I usually encourage people to do sacrificial giving once a year, not every single month. That's not necessarily very practical. So I'm gonna miss the daily live streams. I am sorry to tell you, but I'm not gonna miss that right now. This has been great, but it's also been very necessary. This is what I'm gonna say. I do not have any regrets. I'm glad we did this, and I'm glad that our team stuck with me through this. But I will live stream tomorrow on HungryGen. So tomorrow we're gonna drop the HungryGen's live stream, and we're going to ask you to join us. This is where you can give your sacrifice tomorrow. But today, this is gonna be the last live stream this month that I will do. I will not do one for this week. We're gonna go to Colombia, and so we will still start uploading every day, kind of like how we used to do. And so this has been a great experience for me. I feel like we've built a closer community with you guys. I feel that, through fasting, there's this healthy bond that was developed now through memorizing the scriptures, and then having these monthly things starting March. It's going to be really awesome. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah. So, but doing this every day for 21 days, that's a challenge. Yeah. So I had to cancel pretty much all of my trips as well, and other things, because I wanted to do this right, and I wanted to give myself for this instead of just do it one day, not do it another day. And so sometimes it's better to do one thing at a time instead of trying to do all the things at the same time. And so I really was committed to that. So can we eat fruits? So I saw that my wife, she answered a lot of that question with fruits. Some fruits will be okay, they're softer, but some fruits have not only a lot of sugar, but they also very, they're going to be difficult on your stomach. So I would probably avoid, personally, I wouldn't eat fruits to come out of the fast. I would just stick with bone broth and, steamed vegetables, and maybe chicken broth without the noodles, or meats. So that would be my thing. And with smoothies, it's kind of same thing as with juices. There's some that could be okay, and some that could be very bad. And sometimes some smoothies have a lot of sugar in them, because fruits have sugar as well. And so I would honestly slowly come out, and by not doing a lot of these juices and smoothies. But you decide that on your own, see what's best for you. Just do not overwhelm your digestive system, and don't go overboard. What is the name of the Bible memory app? It's actually called Bible Memory. On the deliverance e-course, is it once a month? At the end of the month, you guys do a deliverance prayer once you finish the course? Yes, it's once a month. What time do we break it? So this is the big question, is what time do we break the fast? So you can break the fast as you're led by the Lord. Recommendation is to do it after church on Sunday. So that is the recommendation that we encourage, or evening of Sunday night. The reason being evening Sunday night is because you're really technically supposed to start a fast on Sunday night before. And so you want to finish on the Sunday night after. Some people just choose to do it on Monday morning. That's also completely normal and actually good. And slowly, or maybe in the evening on Sunday night, you eat, bone broth and, and then steamed vegetables on Monday morning, and then at noon you eat something more, like bone broth or cooked tomato. And so, but you definitely keep in mind when you're coming out, you're not coming out in an hour. You're going to be coming out in 3 days. So you just kind of want to come out slowly. All right, you want to be coming out slowly. So pace yourself, give yourself some grace, and also give yourself some space. Don't go kind of all out and come out as quickly as you can. And so as much as you want to come out as quickly as you can't do that and stuff. How many days can we eat smoothies? Somebody really loves smoothies, fruits and stuff like that. I would do maybe after like 3 days. Yeah. Can you share the link to give? Yes, we're going to drop the link to give right now. But it's pastovlad.org/partner. I see somebody over here on Instagram needs to be restricted or blocked. That's the beauty of social media. You can block people. Yes. Are lentils and beans okay? Lana, can you answer that? How much bone broth? 12 ounce? Yeah, you can do 12 ounce. You can do more. I think in the beginning probably not a lot. And then you can increase it just a little bit more. Just kind of one thing about when you finish fasting that I love is you have this like spiritual sensitivity to like not to eat certain things. Sometimes you can look at that food and you say, you shouldn't be eating that. Like, even though your brain maybe says you should, but you're like something it tells you you just shouldn't. Just wait. No, this is too much. And so just follow that. And I do believe it's leading of the Lord. When I was coming out of the fast, out of a 40-day fast, and it was like that. I was able to, was presented with some stuff. People gave me some carrot juice and some other stuff, and I was like, I'm not sure. And so I just really followed the common sense, but also like this sensing. It was weird. I've never had that toward food like that clear. And so, and as long as I followed it, I was fine. And so, and I exited fairly quickly. Definitely not recommended on how fast I exited that. I mean, I think it took me like three days or something for the 40-day fast. And so, but it's definitely not recommended. And I was fine. But again, I kind of knew my limits, and I just ate a little bit of soup, again a little bit of soup, again a little bit of soup, again a little bit of soup, and then just kind of felt fine. So added a little more, I think, of egg or something, and then just added steamed vegetables, and one thing led to another. And I think like on 7th day I already ate meat and stuff. But again, that was me. I'm not saying that everybody should do that. Should coming out of the Daniel fast also be slow? No, I think that it shouldn't be as slow. I think you can come out way faster out of a Daniel fast because your stomach is engaged and it's active. Is soup okay? Yeah, I think soup is okay, but I would start with the bone broth first and like cook rice and then just drink water from the rice, what you cooked. So that's what I would start with. Yeah. So I answered this already, but in San Antonio, will both services be the same? So both services I will speak at both services, but they are going to be slightly different. I think each service is going to be different. Yeah. All right, guys. Will you be posting in Telegram? Yes, we're going to continue to keep posting on Telegram. We don't stop that. Everything is going to continue as it is. I wouldn't do salads for first few days. I would just do something with like soups or bone broth. I wouldn't do salads. Fasting experience was amazing. God is good. Feel closer to God. That's good to hear. Good to hear. 3-day liquid fast monthly aim. Yep. So that's going to start in March. Excited for that. Really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience for all of us. This is going to be an amazing year for us. Will these recordings be available for people as a resource buying your books and having this support? Yes, Marcia. So I'm gonna leave this. This is one of the reasons we created this playlist, and actually one of the reasons I live streamed every day while doing actually the fast, so that we can leave this, I believe, for years down the road, and people who are fasting will be able to actually just go each day, just watch the video, watch the video, watch the video, watch the video, and just be encouraged with that.